journey, and that is where curiosity is just the perfect word that captures that for all of us. Compassion, having outreach within the community, and also to those within our church community, things that the Bees and Missionary Society used to do in terms of family in need, either because of I kind of wondered what happened with all of that, like when the Bees disbanded. The work that they did to bring, do a meal train for somebody who was sick, where did that go? And that came up in one of our small group discussions too, more recently, and Susanna on Deacons let me know that that's sort of a subtask of Deacons now. But, honestly, I have a desire to contribute. I would love to bake cookies or make a meal for somebody, and I don't have a way to be connected to the need. So those are things we need to, when that grow the idea of church, part of the vision, we need to figure out how to pull the list together of the people who will, serve that way. So it can be easier and it isn't, it's more of a shared effort. And courage. The courage element came up in conversation. I remember Jim capturing it really well, which is the word transformation was connected to this. So by being brave enough to confront the hard things that we sometimes have to do as a church community, we've had some challenges come up where, you could just brush them to the side and not really figure them out. But no, you have to, be bold and be courageous, work through them, and in doing so, you transform into something completely different. And we've proven through some things that have happened in our church that we have that courage, and it's definitely a value that we want to.
And the testimonials, too, was something that we thought was really unique about our church. The fact that people are so willing to share and be open and share their lives and their struggles. And it's a safe environment.
When somebody's standing up there and talking, Sarah Liliardi recently got up and talked about some of the challenges that she's had with her injuries and running, but that's actually the thing that's brought her back into the church. When you listen to somebody share things and you don't know who in the audience you're connecting with. Happened today, someone came up, this was her third time in church, and she came up to me and she said, I had cancer too, this is my third time here, thank you for your work. You need to do more than, preach and sing, I guess. That element of sharing is really what makes us community.
And I want to jump in here too. Something I'm really excited about with this, when thinking about connection and curiosity, you'll see justice work, outreach, social justice. And we talked about this in a new member dinner recently, that as we have this opportunity of saying we've been witness to 350 years of American history, we claim that. It hasn't always been something we want to celebrate. How do we talk about that with courage? How do we really claim being an historically white institution where I just found out recently that Enoch Huntington owned a slave?
Yes.
I just found that out this past week. And so what does it mean to claim a legacy of white supremacy? What does that mean for us to have courageous conversations about that? So that's something that I think braces us for doing some really important work that's relational. And also the connection with the way that we sometimes do justice work, where we cut a check for an organization that we don't really know. We are saying we value relationships, and we value relationships of mutuality, not charity, where we help you poor people, where we are a community together. And when we think about it that way, it really changes the way we engage with bringing about more good in the world. So that was something that really came out of this. So next slide.
I just had a wonder if I could, with social justice, we could also say environmental justice.
Could you speak up a little louder, please?
I don't see the environment reflected in any of this up here. So I'm just wondering if under compassion, we could make it social and environmental justice. But maybe I'm missing something.
No, we did talk about that. Because we are very keen on the environment, and we realized when we were trying to put things together, we wanted to make it as simple as possible. We made it more of a bridge umbrella. And we said, okay, with our social justice and our outreach, that includes the environment, that includes social justice, that includes human rights, that includes refugees, that includes everything. We had a litany of lists. We're like, Dion, stop, just make it social justice. Stop. So trust me, I was there and everyone listened and they said, yes, that is a value for our church.
But
It's
I
just
think-
under that umbrella.
But I do think that one of our challenges, we can't be everything to all people.
Yes.
And I actually do, I could be wrong about this, but I remember even in our congregational meeting, we did sort of an informal poll. Do you remember that, David? I think it was when you were leading the congregation, you were sort of getting a sense for the community.
Yeah, I think everything that people brought up, we kind of just sort of did a little show of hands.
Yeah, and I think we need to do a little bit more of that to gain consensus. Because, you know, I know one of the things the outreach committee is really looking for is some focus. And we may need to really think about how we're going to get there, because we can't do everything.
I did, whenever that would come up in our conversations, one of the things that I thought of was the small group, which we want to sort of rebrand as circles. That concept really could apply, though, while we can't do everything. If there is a group that's interested in forming around anything, it could be around, you know, we want to have a Buddhist study, we want to have meditation, we want to have a science-based group, that ability exists, and we want to have structures in place where people can put themselves together, and through that small group experience, we can do a lot of great things on a lot of great levels, and in terms of everyone's being able to support everyone's interests.
Yeah, so maybe there could be like a small group that deals with the environment, or, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily
And
be the outreach
organizes greater
committee.
things that everyone
Right.
can be invited to and participate in. There's
Right.
going to be a lot of strength in that circle concept as well.
All right, let's see what else is on here. So now we got into the mission statement. You're all sick of it right now. We won't go over it again. Next slide.
Oops, wait a second.
Oh,
I think the statement's wonderful, obviously, everybody, the people who've been involved in this, has been so good. There is a word I miss, and it's a word we use every Sunday, and it's a word that I saw was in one of those statements back in 1968 or something like that, and the word is welcome. I really miss not having that word somewhere in this mission statement, such as even welcoming and nourishing the divine spark. For me, the welcome
You know what?
is so
We
critical.
had that word, so where we have that word is, it's like as we pass off to the marketing and communication team, we are going to have a slogan. And the slogan is going to be the thing that goes on to all of the banner outside and at the header of all of our bulletins. And we wrote this about 10 different ways. We have 10 drafts that we're ready to pass on to somebody. But one of them was, we are your spiritual home, welcome. Or, what about the door?
Our door is open.
Our door is open,
All
welcome,
welcome,
welcome
yeah.
home. Our door is open, welcome home. We thought of imagery of the church doors being open and showing that welcome through the visual. So we don't want to lose that. That was for certain part of it. But we thought it was more in the advertising, marketing slogan.
Is there, I really would love personally, maybe coming from the A to A, but to be able to have that word, welcome, because we use that so every Sunday morning. We say all are welcome here. So it's a word that is so much a part of us that I would love to see it in the mission statement, such as welcoming and nourishing the divine spark.
Offering a spiritual welcome.
Yeah.
I don't think we can edit this word by word now.
But you know, we all have to embrace this, and this isn't just the vision team, so we welcome your feedback, Jen. And you know, I think we just, everybody needs to percolate on it and see what comes of it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, visioning team, but I think I heard from what we're up to is that it's not just about saying you are welcome here. It's about who we are together. And what we're claiming is something really different. It's not just that we have this great place and you're welcome. It's going outward. And the effort is saying spiritual home within and beyond our walls. It's not just you are welcome here. That reinforced to us a self and other, and us and them sort of
Yeah, I
thing.
do remember this.
So that was a conversation we had. So we will absolutely remain a welcoming church, but I'm not sure it has a place in here. It might, but they take your feedback.
All right, the next couple slides just flesh out the vision, and you heard from the 4 testimonials: nourishment, grow the idea of church, revitalize our youth offerings, launch a capital campaign. And then the following slides, we put a lot of rigor, and this is an eye test, I realize, but we just kind of wanted to have these words so that this is more of the detail behind each of the 4 visions. I tried to kind of bold some of the important words on there, but we realized that that's a lot in one slide, but you know, the brave space, network of covenant relationships, the small groups or circles, we talked about renaming them, connections. So there's a lot here. There's a lot of meat here. We certainly don't have the time to go over that, but what we tried to do is take all those notes and all those comments and kind of, you know, cull them down into some very specific, actionable items. So the next one is, I guess that's actually more detailed. So we couldn't fit it on one slide. There was too much. So, and you know, we heard loud and clear how much the music is important to this church. Thank you, Sherry, and the choirs. I think there actually was a small group that was made up of the choirs, right?
Yeah,
Which is kind of cool.
The choirs went through the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was a lot of talk about meditation and, you know, the spiritual side of helping people to connect to, you know, even nature. We realized that church isn't just here, these 4 walls. I mean, we can be creative about how we worship. Many people worship nature. People don't just need a structure. Even when we talk about youth programs, maybe we can do more creativity there. So, next slide talks about grow the idea of church. This is what Susanna talked about. And you know, lots of specifics here that we've heard from the small groups. You know, name tags and bulletin boards and a database. And I think, was it Jen that talked about how, you know, she wants to be able to tell somebody she'd love to make, you know, food for somebody who's sick, but you know, how do you get that information to the right person? So I think there's probably going to be a lot of work done to help streamline communication and leverage our interests. And you know, maybe even review our bylaws, get more flexibility in terms of the structure of the church. So, and Jim, we got providing safe and accommodating space on there. So, you know, that's certainly important. So, lots of specifics there. Next slide. Even more specifics. We can keep going.
I have a question. Can we put this on our website? Can we get this on our Facebook? So can we make this so that we can see this and look at more?
Yeah.
You want copies of it?
I love a copy too.
Yeah.